Hey, bub, this is Wolverine. You're watching Pro Teaches Noobs. This is OG Vegeta. Let's get the views to over 9,000! This is Ryuk. Watch, like, and subscribe, or die.
Hey guys, welcome to another lesson of Pro Teaches Noob. Today I have with me Jared.
How you doing?
And today we're going over Superman Space Age, written by Mark Russell with art by the All Reds. And believe it or not, this was actually meant to be in continuity and was meant for 5G to explain the history of Superman from the 60s to the 80s. But when 5G fell apart, it got completely retooled into an original story.
Oh, really? This is supposed to be in continuity?
More about the general concept of it. Not this story that we got, but basically the initial pitch and the starting point was that, and then eventually it becomes radically different, a radically final product. I don't know if there was any, like, the first issue was part of 5G or not. I just go in and looking at, like, this is all an original product.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, don't try and compare it to it trying to fit in the continuity.
Yeah, exactly.
Because trust me, there's going to be some radically different, but it gets more radical as it goes on.
Okay.
But Mark Russell, I mean, I'll be honest, there's going to be a lot of politics in here, but it's going to be fitting given the type of story he's going to be telling.
Okay, cool.
Yep. So let's just dive in. But first of all, look at that cover.
I like that one. Holding the world in his hand.
Can you name me a book where All Red has sucked at?
I haven't seen that many books that he's drawn.
Yeah, he's done like Ecstatic, which was a spin-off of X-Force, or at least a retooling of X-Force. Obviously, the Batman Dark Age. He did the Bug miniseries. He did Superman with Madman. He created Madman.
Okay.
Which was an influence on Freakazoid. Yeah, he's done a whole lot of stuff, but yeah, I'm definitely a kind of Silver Agey in its own way kind of style. Ah, gee, why does it do that? Hate that. 1985. Something my father Jor-El once told me. That it is better to live with purpose and die by accident than to live by accident and die without purpose. There is no point, he said, in wasting your life, clawing for money or fame or approval, in living a life that it wasn't meant for you. Because when the end finally comes, all of that, everything you ever considered an accomplishment, is stripped away, and all you have left is who you are. Existence was always so fragile. Every minute a miracle. Goodbye, my friends. How did we not wake up every morning trembling in awe and wonder that we were here at all? Jor-El sat on the ruling council of his world. Data module missing. Fortress integrity compromised. Deactivate all alarms. Computer, divert all remaining energy to the living quarters. Clark, it's happening. And yet he realized that life is a negotiation with forces beyond your control, that in the end, you have to accept fate on its own terms. Though occasionally it does and let you make a counter offer. Fortress of Solitude life cycle complete. I know, Lois. I know. Even though the end comes for us all, it is possible, just for a moment, to stick your head above the water like a man lost at sea, if only to shout. Have I ever told you how much I love you? Every day. Good. Dad, everything's going to be okay? No, Jonathan, it's not. Only to shout, I was here. And that's all right. And to do that before plunging forever into the darkness is an act of heroism. Smallville, Kansas, November 1963. So yeah, obviously it's opening up in media res. Like, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
Just to make that clear, this is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
My other father didn't run a world. He ran a farm. You've got in the cover story, Clark. Not bad. Bad. It's just a school paper, Dad. To my frustrated teenage mind, he thought like a farmer, meaning that he thought that you should start small. Still, you should be proud, Clark. Now come help me with the hay and stay that way. That's enough for today. I'm spent. Hold on. Hold on. Just 1 sec. Just got an email. Hold on.
Okay.
I could have done I could have the rest done before you got to the porch. Done quick or done right. That the outside world was something to be avoided. Root beer. I just don't see why I have to waste my life here. You think growing food is a waste of time? No, it's just that I could do so much more. I could save the world, Dad. Save it quick or save it right. There's been plenty of men over the years who told themselves it was their destiny to save the world, and they always made the same mistake. What mistake? Thinking that it was theirs to save. The world needs you. It'll let you know. I left home to save the world myself once, It was towards the end of the war. I was sent to help liberate the isles of Saipan, sorry. Kent, take a detail. Clear the caves. We've been bombing the Japanese for weeks. They were half-starved and shell-shocked, in sad state. Surrender! Hands up! We figured we'd round up all the prisoners in an afternoon. One of the prisoners detonated himself, taking the other prisoners and half our unit with him. Boom! Never knew men were capable of such thing. Kent, you alive? As beaten as they were, they had no thought of surrender. I knew at that moment we'd have to kill every soldier on that island. Pretty much every structure on Saipan had been destroyed during the shelling. Come on, come out now! So everyone was hiding in the caves, soldiers and civilians alike. You never knew who was going to come out. One trick we learned was to look for burning cigarettes. Only the soldiers had cigarettes, which they'd been saving for months, sometimes just for this occasion, the occasion of death. It was a small towel, but big enough that it saved my life a couple of times. Blah, blah, blah. It was when you didn't see the light that you really were on edge. Come out! You just stand there, staring into the darkness, wondering what was staring back at you. He must have used the lighter to find his way out of the cave. He could have been more than 12. I shot him. They say that you see the face of everyone you've ever killed when you close your eyes to go to sleep. The truth is worse. After a while, you don't see them at all. The dead disappear because we need them to. Come on, Kent. We've got other caves to clear because that's the price of our survival. The price we pay to make room for the living. We shipped out soon after that. Dad, come on. And I never knew. I wasn't home but for a few months before you arrived. Everything felt so broken after the war. I guess I was looking to the universe for some sort of sign. Do you ever get bored back in the farm after being away at war? No, Martha, never. Some proof that this wasn't all some horrible mistake. I just wanted to sit and watch things grow for a while. What's that? Sure enough, the universe came through. And yet, if you hadn't dropped out of the sky onto a cornfield, would you have been any less miraculous? Maybe we're all assigned that and from the universe that things could be different. Maybe that's all we are. While we're getting things off our chest, there's something else I never told you. Well, I don't be piggled. The capsule that you arrived in was just part of the spacecraft that brought you to Earth. You watched the rest flew off into the night. I don't know where it went. I just know that after all the bloodshed and horror I'd experienced, you were the sign from heaven that I needed. And I still need you. But Dad, how can you expect me to stay here on the farm, to not reveal what I can do to the world? You said it yourself. There's a part of me out there. There's a part of all of us out there. With any luck, you never find it. And there are certain dates on everyone in which everyone remembers where they were. So it's sometimes harder to remember who we were. Mom, Dad, I can't believe it. From Dallas, Texas, the Flash apparently official President Kennedy died today at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Before those days changed us forever. Killed by an assassin bullet. Looking back, I think what my dad was trying to tell me was this: that trauma sears itself into us no matter how much we try to let it go. And that our innocence slips away no matter how hard we hold on. Okay, how is this so far?
Pretty good. I like how it like intertwines with history.
Exactly. But what do you think about with Jonathan's talk and everything?
Yeah, I kind of like that being that like he was in World War II, and I believe like in the isn't it like in like the modern time in like modern Superman he was in Korea.
Yep. Well, at least post-crisis he was. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I kind of like that. How you see like he has the chance to like raise another life after taking so much life in the war.
Yep. And I also love the whole save it quick or save it right.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that because I don't think anyone's phrased it that way before.
Mm-hmm.
The big problem always is it's not saving the world. It's trying to do it because you just feel like it's not happening soon enough.
Yeah.
Which is why I always love about post-Christ Superman is that by being the inspiration, he's not trying to save everything all at once. He knows you're more likely to save the world if you're an inspiration to get out of others to get off their ass and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree that that's a big difference there? Because I think people mistake that. Saving the world means they think save it all here and now.
Yeah, exactly.
I can tell you this: Russell gets Superman.
Yep, I would say so too.
I assume you're here to bid on the contract too. That I am. It ain't Bruce Wayne Enterprises, Lex Luthor, LexCorp. Gentlemen, I'm General Lane. My serious apologies, but we're going to have to cancel the meeting. What? Why? No one told you? The president's dead. Assassinated. Until Johnson's sworn in, we're a mule on roller skates, boys. So keep your head on a swivel. If the Soviets are going to pounce, it'll probably be now. Roger that, base. He's, and Great Caesar's ghost. What a disaster. The story of the century, and we got less than 12 hours to write it. Smitty, get on a plane to Dallas. How? All the planes have been grounded. Jeez, you think Mr. Wright would be more broken up? The president just died. That's how a journalist mourns, Jimmy. Well, we got anyone on assignment in Texas? You do, Chief, but you're not going to like it. I don't like anything. Who we got? Lois Lane. Ah, crap meat. The Kooks and Cranks writer. Well, get her on the horn. She just became our point person on the Kennedy assassination. So are all your brittle psychic, Mrs. Krantz? Oh no, just champagne and chablets. So in other words, assigned to Yankees a crank assignment.
Uh-huh.
As President Johnson is sworn in, America remains on high alert. The Soviets are also on high alert, with several nuclear submarines surfacing in the Arctic Ocean. It is unclear whether they are to observe or to take part in a preemptive attack in the moment of national weakness happening. And never before in history has so much depended on the life of one man. You said it yourself, Dad. When the world needs me, it'll let me know. Clark, where are you going? I can't wait anymore. I've got to do something. But do what? On something. I'll figure out on the way. Clark, at least take a jacket. Come on, Martha. He's got to find his own way. We can't protect him from the world anymore. We can't protect the world from him. Somewhere in the Arctic Circle. Any movement, Jordan? No, not yet. Yep, probably just wait and see if some ambitious general uses the transfer of power as an opportunity to launch a first strike. Even so, keep your eyes peeled. What exactly am I looking for, base? Anything out of the ordinary. Twink! Huh? There's a new aircraft on the radar, very fast, flying in an erratic pattern. Woof! He hit a bird! It's entering Soviet airspace in half an hour. The unidentified object will be over the Kremlin. We need direction from Moscow. No time, Comrade. The attack we fear is upon us. Prepare to launch. This will mean the destruction of. He's almost causing what he was fearing.
Yeah.
No, the revolution will still be victorious. It just may take an extra 1,000 years. All hands on deck. Prepare missile for launch. Oh, we've got to reach them. Stop them somehow. Save the world. Boom! Got him. Got what? If I told you, you'd ground me. Unidentified fight has been destroyed. Pretty well, stand down. We maintain our current colors for now. Unfortunately, Hal had to do it. But yeah, just thanks only to a near miss of fate. It's not a media of radioactive skeletons. Yep, we sure got lucky, Mr. Luthor. Yes, I'm saying it that way because it's who you think it is.
Okay.
Luck is the prayer. Luck is the prayer of children and gamblers. Otis, LexCorp succeeded because we don't leave things to chance. LexCorp succeeded because others believe in luck. So, any idea on how to salvage the military contract? Any ideas at all? You don't even have to be smart. That's what I thought. Okay, get out of here. You're all worthless. Miss Teschmacher, place a call. I want to speak with one of the generals on the award committee. Which one, Mr. Luthor? See if you can find me one with gambling debts. Yeah, I'm going for the Gene Hackman voice because it's clearly what they're going for.
Yeah.
Again, though, just so much of this is just fun, isn't it?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, but again, just smartly written. Relax, Chief. I'll relax when I'm old and in my pudding. Less than an hour before we go to print, and nobody's even heard from this dame. Lois will come through, sir. You'll see. She better. She's full of fruit if she thinks the planet is going to accept a late copies in. Huh. A little arty, a few too many 10 penny words, but not bad. Not bad at all. Run with it. I gotta say, I do like that other thing. Again, that's playing it up realistically. You wouldn't just give it to a woman unless you had no choice. Again, that makes sense. Wasn't any real back then? It's like she just happened to be there. No, they couldn't get anyone else over there, so it's like, you're it. President Kennedy led us into the space age. He navigated us through nuclear peril. We've never lived in more uncertain times, and yet we couldn't help but share his optimism. I happened to be in Dallas at the time of the shooting. I spoke to many people here, trying to piece together what happened. Would you mind showing me your film, Mr. Zapperder? That's where the actual film, recording came. The guy who had it. As a reporter, I mostly listened. I was standing on the grass, watching as the president motorcade rolled by. I even saw it and bought a new coat for the occasion. I didn't hear anything, didn't even know anything was wrong until, in time like these, we look in vain for the elusive reassurance we call hope. I saw his blood on my coat. I was going to get it dry cleaned, but I didn't. I don't know why. Where is this thing called hope? What is it? I guess some things you just carry with you. Is it bulletproof, Lucius? Of course, sir. We like to imagine that our strengths will protect us, but history is a wildfire. It consumes the weak and strong alike until there's nothing left to burn. Survival rate in the simulation? 5%, Mr. Luthor. Is that supposed to be Sylvanas?
Looks like it.
They don't really bring it up much, but I think that's supposed to be Sylvanas.
Yeah, probably.
The living are but a burn ward of history, and none of us ever recover. We simply pick what we can from the ashes and move on. And yet somehow we know that there must be more, that we are destined for something greater. Those in whom we invest those beliefs, we call it heroes. So why does the life of one man mean so much? Proximity ray activated. In short, it doesn't. But when you take the enormity of what this man meant to a nation, the overwhelming grief we felt at his passing, the belief in the future inspired in us, and then subtracts from the one ordinary life whatever remains, that is what we mean when we say hope. Aww.
I like that.
Yep. It's gotta be. Identity confirmed. Kal-El at Krypton. Construction sequence commencing. Huh? What is happening? Hello? I am broadcasting this message in English, the language this computer believes to have the highest probability of speaking. Kal-El, my son. How long I have waited for this moment. I am your father, Jor-El. You come from a planet called Krypton. You were sent to this world on the eve of Krypton's destruction. The craft that brought you was not only programmed to bring you safely to Earth, but to create this fortress, this laboratory, this home. Father, and to wait. The location so remote that you would only find it once you have mastered your powers. Sensing your proximity, it gave off a beacon to bring you to this location, so that you yourself may become a beacon.
You know what's interesting? The art reminds me a lot of Jack Kirby.
It does.
It's the faces, I think, that look very Kirby-esque.
The roughness of it.
Yeah, exactly.
The roughness and yet smoothness at the same time.
Yeah.
And that the people of this world may someday have what the people of Krypton did not. Hope. You were sent to this planet, my son, not only for your salvation, but also for theirs. And the day will come when you will be called upon to help this world. Your job until then is to be ready. How? The dangers that confront a world are legion and unpredictable. To face them, you will need to harness all of your abilities. There is no time to waste. But now you have no doubt learned to control your heat vision. My what? You have discovered that you possess a towering scientific intellect. I do? I'm sorry, I just love that. Him not knowing about some of these powers. Like, wait, what?
I could do what?
Like, I have a what? And
what ray vision?
Of all, you have no doubt spent years learning all you can about this planet, taking in the knowledge of its people, its culture, its ways of life, learning from its greatest minds and leaders. In other words, what he normally would do by this point.
Mm-hmm.
As a guardian of the Earth, your job is mostly to listen. Having done all of this, you are finally ready. We have made for you the suit of Kryptonian's most indestructible fabric, embolized with our family seal, that you might not only be the Earth's champion, but the pride of Krypton as well. But I wasn't ready. I wasn't even close. I am proud of you, my son. Perhaps my two fathers weren't so different after all. They both seen enough of destruction, and simply hoped to watch something grow, and I couldn't let them down. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You were right, Dad. Smallville train station, 1964. I packed at least 5 sandwiches for you. When in doubt, have a sandwich. I will, Mom. We all agreed that the farm was too small for me, but also that I wasn't ready to unleash myself on the world. So we came up with a compromise. Got a present for you, Clark. Oh, a hat. Looked fancy, at least for it looked fancy, at least for Kansas. I thought it might help you fit in in the big city. I would go to Metropolis to become a reporter, learn about the world I was supposed to save. I would listen. The day I received the journal, the journal you're reading now, was the day I began a new life. I got you a present, too. I thought it might be nice to have someone to talk to, even if it's just yourself. Thanks, Mom, Dad, for everything. Here she is, the man of the hour, and my protege, Lois Lane. Does this applause come with a raise? Or should I say our Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter? You're magic, Lane. Lightning in a bottle. And I would know. I own the bottle. Thanks, Chief. But I got a subject to interview. Oh, no, you ain't. From now on, all the crap assignments go to our new cub reporter. What's your name, kid? Kent. Clark Kent. Well, then, here you go, sport. The Kooks and Crinks column is all yours. Any tips, Miss Lane? Learn how to keep a straight face. Yeah, just like that. Again, that's interesting. He's showing up just as she becomes the star reporter.
I kind of like that. That kind of takes away like a little bit of the rivalry that they had in the beginning. That
could explain arrogance, ego, because she just got the praise.
Yeah, see, here's the thing with this. It's a little bit more organic as to why Lois is abrasive.
Yeah, because she's been on the sidelines doing the Kooks, a little on the nose, calling it every other Kooks and Cranks.
Yeah, I do like that. But yeah, exactly. That's why I don't necessarily mind this even. This is coming from someone who loathes Lois.
But let me guess, you're already starting to find a bit of a liking for this one because of how she's being handled, right?
Yeah, exactly. This is what I've said before. If she's written well, it's like, okay, she's tolerable.
Right. Not sure if working the Kooks and Cranks speak was what my father had in mind when he told me to learn about human beings. But to be honest, it was probably as good as any a way as any. If you could just hold your dinosaur egg here for the camera, dear. I gotta be honest, that looks like a rock to me, Mr. Kent. There are aliens already among us. Golly, really? Bored with how little they actually know, people tend to fill in the blanks with beliefs that make the world a more exciting place for them. Again, this is going back to, I think I've told you before about how Russell, you know how he's an atheist, but he's one of the guys who, while he used to insult, religion, he soon realized the importance of religion. It's the similar thing here. Those who might not have religion will still fill their lives with crazy beliefs.
Yeah.
Of course, nowadays, at least the people having insane political views and all that to fill in the blanks, but still.
True that.
But I do like how back then, while there might have been some doing it, because there wasn't a forum for that, they would keep it inward. Thus coming up with these crazy, things like, I got a dinosaur egg. It's a rock. It's a dinosaur egg. Kent, as a writer, you're subpar, but I'll be a salty dog if you're not the fastest typist I've ever seen. As if the truth was simply a contest to see who could be the loudest. Oh, come on. I'm Clark Kent, and I'm from the Kooks and I'm from the Daily Planet. Are you Mr. Pariah? You can call me Pariah. You want a drink? You look like you could use a drink. No thanks. You sure? I'm on my third. So for my notes, you say you're from the future. If I was from the future, why would I come back to a time as idiotic as this? I'm not from the future. I just know the future. So what happens in the future? What do you think happens? It ends. Really? Well, when? About 20 years from now. Of course, that doesn't mean the world couldn't end before then. Quantum fluctuation could cause a 0 to flip to a 1 or a 1 to flip to 0. A good decision becomes a horrible mistake. A near miss becomes a fatal blow. The whole thing could go up at any moment, really. But it's definitely a hard out when the rest of the universe goes up in flame. You don't mind me asking, how do you know all this? Because it's my fault. I was trying to develop an antimatter fuel that would transform life on my world, on my Earth. Other scientists warned me, said I was being too reckless, but I was so bent on success that I locked myself into an antimatter chamber to show them how safe it was. So what happened? The worst thing imaginable. I succeeded, because that's when I unleashed him. Okay, I do like this. This basically making clear this is one of them other infinite Earths out there.
Oh, so wait, hang on. So let me get this straight. Is this like saying there were multiple multiverses? There was multiple crises on infinite Earths?
No. Remember, there was other Earths we never knew existed.
Okay.
So that's what we're basically revealing. This Earth is one of the many Earths in the infinite Earths that get destroyed that we never knew existed.
Oh, you mean the space age Earth?
Yes, this space age Earth is one of the many different. So that's why you can do this. And I'm like, that's clever. That's why far one knows brilliant ideas.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he called himself the Anti-Monitor. He had imprisoned me, been imprisoned by force, too powerful and ancient to mention, and I had set him free. He explained that mine was but one of an infinite number of worlds, in an infinite number of universes that dwelled in a multiverse, ruled by chaos and untamed possibility. He vowed to bring order, and order meaning, as it usually does, destruction, destroying the matter of every universe until only one, a matter of universe of pure antimatter remained. I don't suppose he'd consider leaving us this one universe, would he? No, I'm sorry, he wouldn't. I don't know if it was a gift or a punishment, but I was given the power to see and travel through time and space, so that not only could I watch as my own world was ripped into dust, but every other version of it as well. So he's tweaking Pariah's abilities. Usually the case where he was just pulled there against his will.
Mm-hmm.
And it was only right at the moment of destruction. Here, he's tweaking it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see everything that's going to happen right up until the end. And no one can stop it. Not even you. I've seen the lights go out on worlds after worlds, trillions of deaths. And as my punishment for unleashing such destruction, I make myself watch. It was the craziest thing I ever heard. and yet it chilled me to the core. Lois had warned me that the kooks and cranes can get inside your head, and she was right. Though to be honest, the idea of this world could even hang on for another 20 years seems somehow wildly optimistic. Thanks for your patience, gentlemen. I'm General Lane. My colleagues and I will be awarding the defense contract to one of your companies based on your presentations here today. We will first hear from Wayne Enterprises. As the conflict in Korea, Vietnam, and elsewhere have demonstrated, we can still engage in the communist bloc in a conventional war. And as we are locked in a nuclear stalemate, we believe these proxy wars should be in the focus of that. This is where the struggle will be won. Strength-enhancing lightweight battle armor, good for any climate, any combat condition. Utility belts containing survival tools and secret weapons the Soviets haven't even dreamed of. What do these look like?
LexCorp suits?
No. This is Bruce showing this.
Oh.
And look up there, like fast and virtually indestructible. Armored vehicles for tactical surprises and mission flexibility. This is what will deliver victory in the battle of the future. Very impressive. Very entertaining anyway. Whatever happens with the contract, Mr. Wayne, I believe you have a future in Hollywood. But how do you know any of this stuff really works? Well, the short answer, General Knox, is that I tested it myself. We'll hear from LexCorp. The floor is yours, Mr. Luther. My friends at Wayne Enterprises convinced that conflicts between us and the communists won't go nuclear. And he may be right for a while. But let me ask you a question. When's the last time the human race created a weapon it never used? Bertrand Russell once said, we might expect a skilled performer to walk on a tightrope for 10 minutes. It would be unreasonable to expect them to keep it up for 200 years. Meanwhile, the destructive power of the world's nuclear arsenal is growing exponentially. In fact, if we are to have a nuclear war, it would be better to have it now, while someone might still survive it. This is why we propose taking the more realistic approach, assuming that war is coming, to shelter a nation's command structure and prominent citizens to save American democracy for future generations. Thank you, Mr. Luther. Would anyone else like to weigh in? General Lane, before we deliberate, I would like to hear from one of my pilots, Lieutenant Hal Jordan, who was on patrol during our recent close shave with the Soviets. Son, I heard you almost punched us a ticket to the dance back in November. Well, sir, there was an unidentified object. I don't know exactly what or whose it was, but if it had gone over the Soviet airspace, I believe it would have been interpreted as an act of aggression. And if it had, what do you think the likelihood that the Soviets would have retaliated? And highly likely, sir. Based on your patrol experience, what do you think the probability is that the Soviets would misinterpret another incident as an attack? Almost certain, sir. If I'm speaking candidly, I think a war isn't inevitable. The only question is, who gets to shoot first? Thank you, Lieutenant. I will remind everyone that on the penalty of treason, you are under oath not to discuss anything you've seen or heard here today. Gentlemen, this concludes our hearing. We'll see and soon let you know what we've decided. Good luck, Mr. Luther. Oh no. Good luck to you, Mr. Wayne. So tell me, Rook, how do you like working the kooks and cranks desk? It's all right. Just a milk, please. God, they're eating you alive, aren't they? Hey, Bibbo, turn on Ed Sullivan. You can't let them get to you. Whatever they tell you, don't buy it. I don't, usually. But there was this one guy. What he said was crazy, but he said it with such authority. Apparently you, I, and the rest of the universe only have 20 years left to live. We have a wonderful show here tonight. He just made it sound so inevitable. I've been coming to this bar ever since, just hoping to run into him again. Clark, my dad was in the war. Yeah, mine too. During the invasion of Europe, he was told to hold a bridge at all costs. Yes, sir. It was a small bridge, not strategically located, but his superiors swore that the Germans were about to launch an offensive at that bridge, and that this bridge would be the key to the whole attack, that a battle was inevitable. Take cover! And sure enough, when the Wehrmacht arrived, they fought a bloody battle over the bridge in the middle of nowhere. Both sides fought for days, as if the whole war effort depended on this one bridge, but neither side could take it. My father lost much of his company. Don't worry, son. We'll get you out of here. Day after day, both sides threw themselves into bloody conflict over this all-important bridge. It wasn't until afterward that my father learned the real German offensive had taken place 40 miles to the south. They fought that battle over nothing. But by chance, he later encountered the officer who commanded the Germans on the other side of the bridge. Hold it! He asked the commander why he sacrificed so many of his men fighting for a bridge he knew wasn't part of the German offensive. In broken English, the man replied, German offensive? We were told to guard bridge at all costs against an American offensive. The point being that while some things may be written in the stars, in most cases, it's only believing that something is inevitable that makes it so. I do like that irony.
Mm-hmm.
They both fought strong because they thought the other was going to bring an offensive.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm pretty sure that probably happened plenty of times.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, 100%.
Come to think of it, he also made a bunch of other predictions that were just crazy cake. There you go. What else did he predict? Well, for one thing, he said the United States would be conquered by insects, like the termites or earwigs. I don't recall exactly. Now that sounds like a Kooks and Cranks article. See, I wouldn't worry about it. I gotta think, Lois, you really? Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles! Put by Bite at ease. You get it?
So Clark is a Beatles fan?
No. He just said the United States will be conquered by insects. He misinterpreted what he said.
Oh, okay. I get it.
Beatlemania.
Mm-hmm.
And gentlemen, we've been invited to 2 different parties. Which one do we go to? Who? And if you gotta have a food fight, it's better to have in someone else's kitchen. The Wayne Enterprise proposal allows us to engage the Soviets thousands of miles away from our own shore. But the Lucer proposal acknowledges the reality that sooner or later, these proxy wars aren't going to cut it. That we're in a knife fight, a contest of survival between us and the Soviets. When the dust settles, even if the only survivors are 1 Russian and 2 Americans, then we win. We're assuming one of them's a woman. Look, it's up to you, General Lane. What do you say? I don't like operating on the assumption that the worst is inevitable. That's usually what gets everyone killed. And yet, I've seen so much of what people are capable of when they think it's their destiny to rule the world. It would be naive to imagine that there are lines that Soviets won't cross. Call the bidding contractor. We're ready to announce a decision. And congratulations, sir. Thanks, Miss Teschwacker. This strange device I'm holding is called a telephone. Sorry, Mr. Lucer. The news about the military contract has created a lot of excitement around the office today. Though I don't know why they're so excited. It's not their money. Just well-trained peasants, I suppose. But I did good, right, Mr. Lucer? Good. You did great. General Knox, as of today, all of your gambling debts have been paid. So take the rest of the day off. Maybe go to the tracks or something. So, yeah!
Mm-hmm.
Lex Corps ate our lunch, didn't they? Didn't they? I believe so, Mr. Wayne. So what do you want to do with all this R&D? What do you mean? Lex Corps won the defense contract. According to the terms of the bid, all the stuff had to be destroyed. I believe the term was that it had to be disposed of. Isn't that what I said? There's a reason why I had the legal team insist on this language. It's because a thing can be disposed of without being destroyed. It's simply taken off the books. So you may want to hold on to it. Why? Because when you don't trust the people writing history, off the books is a pretty good place to be. Oh! Again, keep it as this is grounded, isn't it? This is an interesting style of being grounded.
Yeah.
It feels realistic, but yet still fantastical to a point. Like fantastical that this stuff exists, but realistic in that it's not going in the way we would think.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if you you've seen Superman. Have you ever read Superman's Secret Identity?
Secret Identity, no.
That was the Kurt Busiek book that Superman basically on Earth Prime.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was the Batman follow-up. Both of those were set in a realistic world. It's basically that if the fantastical was turned up just a few notches.
Okay, I see.
So that's basically what I look at this world is. It's like it's the real world, but turned up a little notch towards into the fantastical.
Mm-hmm.
Not 11 like normally, but like 3, 4, or 5.
That makes sense.
Like, you didn't have to come see me off, Clark. The day planet's not going to be the same while you're gone, Lois. All aboard! You ever find that pariah guy you were looking for? No, I tried the rent and directory and the rent directory, the police records, the phone book, nothing. It's like he just disappeared. When a lead goes dead, just remember the two most important rules of writing, which are the story isn't always what you thought it was, and when you're stuck on something, there's always something else you could be working on. I don't know if there was a specific moment when I suddenly realized that I love Lois, but somehow I've always known that I couldn't live without her. Now, Lois had been my constant reminder that whatever strengths fate may have granted me, the key is to focus on where you are going, not on the fact that you are flying. It's nothing compared to the strengths I've got from the people of my life. Matter, energy, and thought are made of the same quantum particles that which in Kryptonian physics we call esoterica. The equation for transforming one to another is as follows, and that whatever else we hope to accomplish in life, no matter how important our ambitions, none are greater than to be worthy of it. Damn, good, excellent. But you could have found it even faster if you used your X-ray vision. My what? I placed an object on the other side of the wall. What is it? I can't see. Relax your eyes. It's a chair. There, well done. Father, I know you're just a hologram projection, that you can't really hear me. True. However, I'm programmed to respond to 4.2 quadrillion questions. So try me. There's so many problems confronting the world, and so many different opinions on what needs to be done to save it. How do you know who's right? What do you do to say, and what do you save the world from when the world itself is such a mess? My son, no one saves the world. The best you can do is help people survive it. Again, he gets it.
Mm-hmm.
Russell gets it. As Americans, we can we talk about being American as if we all agree on what that means. But the truth is that some judge truth and justice by how well they support the American way, while others judge the American way by how well it stands up for truth and justice. For some, freedom is simply the way and the name they've given to their way of life. But others, freedom is what they call the struggle to survive. Oh, geez, I keep forgetting there was a president who actually was banking on segregation.
Oh, wow.
You can never do that now.
No.
But back then, yes. In the 60s, unfortunately. The police didn't talk to any and didn't want any journalists talking to the freedom writers. And since I was there to do just that, they arrested me too. Because they didn't have a separate cell for women, they locked me up with some men. Figured I'd be terrified, I suppose. Night, y'all. But it actually turned out to be a great opportunity to do what I came for. Do you feel like Americans have become too addicted to the pleasure and to popular culture to care about your struggle? That they're too busy reading comic books and listening to records to focus on anything important? Personally, I've never seen the two as mutually exclusive. Years ago, I participated in the lunch counter sit-in. When we went in there, we understood that the segregated lunch counters weren't going to serve us. So beforehand, we went to a Chinese restaurant. Knowing that we might not eat for a while, we treated ourselves to a large meal. And it was wonderful. As it turned out, necessary. When we went to the lunch counter, as expected, we were beaten and arrested, locked up overnight. But as we sat there in jail, I kept thinking about that delicious meal and how I planned to go back to that restaurant when I got out. The simple pleasures, the things we love, are not distractions for life, but sources of strength that keep us alive, that help us carry on. I'm here to make bail for Lois Lane. Y'all must got the wrong jail, mister. We ain't got no ladies here. I see. Well, would you mind checking again? Boy, you got your answer. Now show some respect for the law. Of course. Thank you, gentlemen. Good night, Roy. Good night, Clem. And just shoot me a holler if they give you any trouble. What did I? Go check on the prisoners. Well, dip me in honey. Again, no way could you get away with this now.
Nope.
No, not to this degree, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Is this thing on? We can see you, Mr. Luther. Great. I am here and now, of course, this is meanwhile at the Coast City Naval Base. I am broadcasting from the Mauna Kea Atoll in the Pacific, 1,000 miles offshore from where you are, where I will personally wait out a 10 megaton thermonuclear detonation in our very first model shelter. Because I not only think our shelter will survive the blast, I'm willing to bet my life on it. After the test, you can fly out to the island and check on the results yourself. Very special thanks to General Knox for the use of a couple of hydrogen bombs for testing purposes. You're welcome. We're ready when you are, Mr. Luther. And a 1, and a 2, and he blows up the naval base!
Oh, God.
And hang on to that. I might put it up in my sunroom. So, by now, I imagine even you've guessed why I chose to have today's meeting in our fallout shelter. And what I think just happened actually happened? You mean the test, the whole contract, is a fake? No thanks to you. LexCorp is about to take a big leap into Fortune 500. The United States will undoubtedly interpret the bombing of a naval base and a major city as a first strike by the Soviet Union. Are you mad? At you? I mean, at you? Never. I think I'm going to be sick. The U.S. will be fine. The Soviets will respond. The war will escalate as wars do. And we will wait it out safely down here. We, the last remnants of humanity, fighting our time until we can safely emerge again and rebuild the world the way it should have always have been. And as your head of research, I cannot be a part of the destruction of a human race. But Mr. Stone, I'm not recognize it? That's Cyborg's dad.
Stone.
I'm not destroyed. Yep.
Yeah, my ears perked up when I heard Stone. I was like, okay, I see it.
Yep. I'm saving it. At least the part I care about, which is all anyone ever does when you think about it. But I understand. I'm not everyone. If not everyone is on board without our aggressive takeover strategy. So I hereby offer you this severance check for $1 million. I spend it quickly, though. The rest of you may want to try the fruit. Could be a while before you see any more. Lane, I need you to cover the story about Coast City now. What about Coast City? There isn't one anymore. Of all the people in my life.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, I see what they're doing.
Yep. Of all the people in my life, no one has taught me more about heroism than Lois Lane. Lois, wait. Please, I've got to go, Clark. That being a hero is not about doing something spectacular. That it's not about being strong or smart or having powers that others don't. Just be careful. I'll see you later, Smallville. On my way, Chief. Heroism is simply the act of being where you are needed most. I have a visual confirmation base. Coast City is gone. Search the southwest sector for Soviet bombers in case they are returning to Cuba to refuel. Everyone else patrol the coast. I'll sweep towards and down towards the border. Looks like this is the big one, boys. What are the terms of engagement, squadron leader? Shoot first. Question anyone who survives. And put me through to the Secretary of Energy. This is a bad time, Mr. Wayne. I know it's a bad time. That's why I'm calling. What I want to know is, are all the nuclear warheads in your nuclear arsenal accounted for? Master Bruce? They are? Well, are they all in military custody? All except 2? And where are they? LexCorp. I see. Under the circumstances, sir, I wonder if we might not be wise to head to the bomb shelter. Under the circumstances, I believe you're correct. Excellent, sir. Shall I make sandwiches so the Batcave was a bomb shelter?
That makes sense.
That's okay, Alfred. I'll get something on the road. So again, what do you think about this? The fact that he never was Batman until this point.
That's kind of cool. I kind of like that. But I do like how still all roads lead to Batman.
Yep, and Superman.
And well, yeah, I'm talking in terms of Batman. I love the Emerald Twilight like thing that they're doing here. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yep. I've learned a lot of this on this planet in the last couple of years from people I respect. Don't worry about me too much, Smallville. And what they've taught me is this: the world doesn't wait for you to be ready. My mistake was never in waiting to save the world before I was ready. It was thinking I could do it alone. The people who do the most good in this world are not the strongest, the smartest, or the most prepared, but simply those who show up. Unidentified aircraft, 10 o'clock. Must be a new MiG design. Never seen anything like it. I'm going in to investigate. Maybe the pilot survived, though I wouldn't count on it. like, look, buddy, I've dealt with enough down pilots to know your tricks. So let's make this the good end to a bad. Huh? Who are you? Which side are you on? I am Abin Sur of the Green Lantern Corps. We are on the side of life, and we are losing. We monitor that. So, okay, I guess start sorry because we're not even done with the first issue.
All of this happens in the first issue? How many issues is this? All of this happens in one issue?
Yep. I got so carried away with reading it because the writing is so good, isn't it?
That is crazy.
This represents the 60s, the next part represents the 70s, and then the 80s.
Okay, that's
or at least
cool.
The mid 80s.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so obviously Superman is dealing with some of these other nukes and everything. Like nothing, and really nothing. Not even a small Russian city. The seismographs are still showing nothing, Mr. Luthor. If they're not convinced the destruction of Coast City was an attack by the Soviet Union, then we need to persuade them. Prepare to annihilate a second city. Okay, but I just realized he was given 2 nukes!
Oh.
Just like the first movie!
Mm-hmm.
Just like the Reeves movie. He had 2 nukes!
Mm-hmm.
Of course, like, which city, boss? Metropolis, of course. Like, we're under 100 feet of concrete, sir. It can't be detonated by radio from down here. Someone will have to be above ground. Fine, send a management trainee. I didn't spend years planning this to have it all ruined by some loser. Vroom! They call this the space age, a semi-optimistic confession of that they're existing and they're looking for an exit. And yet, here we remain, trapped in this place, while the dreamers, politicians, and poets may have the luxury of looking to the stars. Someone needs to make a stand here on the ground, among the dirt and racks, in the gutters of their indifferences. And so listen, Toady, I want you to leave the bomb shelter. So basically, he's the one sending him out there to do the detonation, but then I'm promising all of this stuff, and then you'll get full medical and dental. Well, if you say so, Mr. Luther.
Mm-hmm.
After the destruction of Coast City, remember her father was there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, thanks now. Basically, throughout this, Lex is going to be more of a Batman villain than the Superman villain, and here it works.
Lex would work as a Batman villain.
Well, he always could have, but you don't want to give him up.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Just like how Doom could be a great Iron Man villain, but you want to
saw.
give him up.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Lex is thrown into jail and everything. In the light of their third near miss in as many years, the United States and the Soviet Union agreed to complete nuclear disarmament. Though nobody ever did figure out what happened to the American missiles.
Nice.
So again, Superman has not been publicly known yet.
Mm-hmm.
The day this became the space age. Need some help with the hay? Nah, I'm doing just fine. It's doing just fine on its own. I'm guessing you had something to do with the fact that we're not all radioactive and globules. Maybe. I need to believe that this meant something, that it's not us all hopeless. But tomorrow, it could start all over again, and something else will destroy the planet. And sometimes it feels like we're trying to outrun our own shadow. It just feels stupid to imagine that I can strap on a cape, fly around, and keep the shadow at bay. Well, maybe so. But then, maybe hope is just what we call the stupidity we need. Hey, all I know is that I'm not worried about anything that brings us all together. Again, the emphasis on hope is what I love.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
hey, it's my lady.
Yep. We used to imagine that we could keep ourselves hidden, that a danger to the world was not a danger to us. That is no longer true. We see that now. Like it or not, we're part of this world. The Hall of Justice. They call you Batman? Really? It's the ears. Well, at least mine has an alteration. Wonder Woman, at least mine has an alliteration.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder Woman, meet Green Lantern. So, what do we do now? I suppose that's what we're here to figure out.
Wow. A lot happens in that.
Yep. Oh.
Mm.
But yeah, oh wait, let me go back to that. Heroism is simply the act of being where you are needed most. But yeah, how was that for that first issue?
My God, a lot happens.
There's a reason why Batman: The Dark Age was split into 6 issues. Basically, each of these books represent 1 and 2 issues.
Mm-hmm.
But what'd you like best about it so far? Just how this
I liked how they factored in a lot of the like fantastical things, but also grounded them, like with the Cosetti thing. Because for those that don't know, Cosetti was blown up by Mongol, and instead of having an alien blow it up, they're like, let's just put in the Cold War and have a nuke go off.
And that would be Lex.
Yeah, and it'd be Lex. So that makes more sense for that time period.
But again, this is the point where we realized this was a complete and utter rewrite from whatever they might have had planned.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with that? Because there's no way this could have fit into continuity, even if this was to retell the continuity.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that Mark Russell was given this freedom, this luxury.
Yeah, exactly.
And the artwork is fantastic. It's just simplistic and yet amazingly detailed.
Mm-hmm.
But yep, so let's move on to this one. Now I'm gonna speed through this a bit more, otherwise we'll be here forever. But yeah, now we're in 1972. Oh, and bunch of ladies of the night and everything. The city can be a dangerous place. You best be moving along, costume party. I am unconcerned. Beat it, or I'll start with and her. Whoop whoop. Like, you don't know what you're doing, man. I got every cop on this beat paid off. You're just making it worse for them. Do you ladies have somewhere to go? Yeah, I think so. My parents' house. Just give me an hour's head start and I'm gone. An hour hardly seems generous. And where are you taking me? New Mexico. Hey, man, you can't do this. I got rights. I know you do. And I respect that. You can exercise them in New Mexico. Again, stuff like that. He's pushing it, but he's not breaking the law.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Clark, remind me why we always come to this bar. That's a good question, Lois. Why do we come to this bar? Wait, is it because this is the only bar in Metropolis that serves ice-cold milk? Your instincts, as always, are flawless. Good grief, Smallville. So what are you working on? Watergate? Watergate! Some break-in. Probably nothing. What about you? Well, I got an interview with Superman later. Superman? Whoa, that's big-time stuff. Want to trade? I mean, I know it's the 70s, but anyone who flies around in a cape probably has an unhealthy need for attention. Anyway, gotta go. Stay out of trouble, Clark. Living a double life, harboring an unrequited love of almost impossible to get a decent milk in Metropolis, and yet I remember these are the happiest days of my life. What is that about? A Clark goes to a bar that serves milk?
Mm-hmm. Isn't that a reference to Kingdom Come, though?
A little. Oh! The Seagull!
Oh, okay.
Seagull and Schuster!
No.
Shoe store!
Oh, okay.
Shoe store!
And Joe.
No, and Jerry. Well, there's no Jerry, but the Seagull.
Okay, I gotta admit, that is freaking clever. I like that.
Clever and adorable.
I like that.
Yeah, there's no Jerry, but Seagull is more than enough.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, it's Superman far out. Sorry, and little fella, but you're headed towards the planet I care about. Whoop. And why you ask? For one thing, there's a woman I love who lives down there. Mm-hmm. Let me just respond to this. No, I haven't told her yet, but I'm going to. I like how he talks to himself. Mm-hmm. But again, oh wait, every prophet is a pariah because he thinks back to about pariah. Would you sign my lunchbox, Superman? Only you promise to eat your fruit. Thanks, Superman. Thank you for bringing your own pen. Sorry, folks, that's all the time I have for today. Oh, what does this remind you of?
Godzilla versus the Justice League.
No, I was going to say the first movie again.
That too.
Yep. Sorry I'm late, Miss Elaine. Thanks for doing this interview. I know you don't make a habit of talking to the press. I'm a big fan. Been following your career for some time. And you probably know what's coming next. Since the disarmament treaty, the world has no longer had to live under the threat of a nuclear annihilation. But from the moment the ink was dry on that treaty, the world has had to worry about another threat, the presence of an alien who, if he chooses to, could destroy us all before Brett. I just saved the world, the Earth from an asteroid. For the most part, the threat of mutual assured destruction kept the U.S. and Soviet Union from ever acting on their awesome destructive power. But what assurance do we have that Superman won't? I just saved an Earth from an asteroid. There's no question about how much good you've done for the world. The question is, how long will that continue? And what happens today? You decide to stop caring about us, or worse, this interview is as fun as I thought it would be. It's not really my job to be fun. To be honest, the asteroid was easier. I know you don't really know me, but you're someone whose opinion I respect. So if I could ask your opinion, what would you do if you were me? That might sound pretentious, but I feel like I already have a job saving the world. Don't get me wrong, I think you're great, but thousands of people died of starvation disease during the time it took me to say that. I think you're great. I feel that in the end, the world doesn't need saving so much as it needs changing. That if we're ever going to turn things around, it's going to take more than just one guy in fireproof underwear. Why do you ask? Just curious. Those words weighed heavily on me. Was this all the theatrics? Again, I do like this. It's not going for the romantic stuff right off the bat.
Yeah, it builds to it.
It builds to it, and she's being a realist.
Yeah.
But she's not being cynical either, though. It's like, no, I think you're great, but that's not the world.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is just so well done. And even the stuff here with Jor-El, I like.
Yeah.
It's both, again, this feels like a great blend of Reeves and Silver Age, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The universe is much bigger, it's home to much bigger threats than you. Oh, meanwhile, in Gotham, he's still doing all that stuff. Productive night, Mr. Wayne? Not bad. Not bad indeed. Nixon bombs Cambodia. Wayne Enterprise bombs.
It's kind of like Stark. I see. All right.
But get this. Because he's so focused on being Batman, he put Maxwell Lord in charge.
Oh.
And what does the future lie in? Expressways and suburbs. Lord joined with our man in polyester, and together they decided the fate of Gotham over a 3 martini lunch. Well, I drove around in an armored car. So what do you see about this as well? This Batman again, he's different.
Yeah, he is.
Different. He's not obsessed at all. But at the same, and he's only human.
Yeah.
Oh, but in a fire launcher that he goes in there to stop him and everything. An old poker say, if you look around the table and can't tell who the sucker is, then you know who the sucker is, meaning you. Coming soon, Thomas Wayne Expressway. I think we need to decide how and why we're here. Lay down some basic principles. Things that we all agree should and more importantly should not be done. I think not killing people is a good place to start. What do you mean, We kill people every day, simply based on who we choose to save and not save. It's like the trolley problem. What's a trolley? What if the principle is that we try not to kill people? Ugh, you're such a squish. Enough. The world isn't a trolley. It's a shipwreck. And do you know what to do in a shipwreck with people drowning everywhere you look? What? You save those within reach. Call me when there's a problem too big for you to handle. Otherwise, I work alone. Yeah, I'm out of here. I'm not sure that's what Mr. Wayne had in mind when he created the Hall of Justice. Ask him. We should take some time to discuss this. Unlike you, I'm not immortal. All and the good I'm going to do in the world, I need to do now. Unlike you, I can't afford the luxury of time, the luxury of hope. You live among the clouds. I wouldn't expect you to understand. Now, I want to make the one thing clear. He's never going to connect the dots. Superman.
Yeah.
By the end of the story, he's never gonna know that this is Bruce Wayne.
Okay.
Like, I saved the Earth from an asteroid. You're welcome. The trolley problem. It sums up about the trolley problem, of course. The correct answer, of course, is yes. You should flip the switch, even if an innocent person dies, not to save the 5 lives, but to deny whoever tied them to the track whatever it was that they wanted, to let them know they failed, that they will always fail, because in the long run, that's what saves lives. Unfortunately, he's finding out the fires going on were perpetrated by Max.
Okay.
So, in other words, Wayne Enterprise is being culpable in burning buildings down.
Okay.
Just for the expansion. You just hold the blue wire and cut the green one. What are you doing? Defusing a bomb. Why? What does it look like? Let me rephrase. Why are you defusing a bomb inside the Hall of Justice? Well, you don't expect me to practice in my apartment, do you? That wouldn't be safe. As I am the world's fastest man, no offense, you'd be surprised how many, oh God, there's a bomb and it's about to explode calls I get. And I mean, I show up, but then what? Just run around with a live bomb until I figure out what else to blow up? That's not a good situation for anyone. So, again, I like some of this. Of course, whatever. I've got other things to do. Just don't blow your thumbs off. Oh, but then turns out I can't drop the Watergate break-in. What? Why? Someone else wants it. Who? Someone better. What do you mean? Did you break the news to Clark yet? Oh, I get it. What? No crying? Horoscopes right. Today is a good day to hand out disappointments. I'm sorry, Clark, but you're just too trusting. I feel like maybe there's something bigger there that you're not getting. That this thing goes higher up. Lois, I did my homework. This break-in was strictly amateur hour. And Clark, it was a break-in at the Democratic National Headquarters. Basically, he summarizes everything, but again, in his eyes, he just feels like this doesn't make any sense. But in Lois feels like they sell a couple of failed Cuban freedom fighters, some ex-CIA and an FBI burnout, how just planned this burglary on their own without any help. It certainly looks that way. Then do you mind if I ask, how did they all know each other?
But you know what's kind of interesting? The Watergate Hotel, that's where Wonder Woman lives in 1984.
Yep. I know, but again, she's being smart. This is a good case of them seeing it differently. He's letting his trusting nature just blind him.
Yeah, exactly.
To the very idea that the president could be involved. Yep. Thanks for the head start, Smallville. And now that I wasn't working on the Watergate break, and I had something to do similar things. Oh, look, Superman with Elvis.
Okay, there you go. That's got to be
the Edmund Fitzgerald. He saved the Fitzgerald.
You know what's funny when I see that picture of Superman with Tricky Dicky and Elvis, you know what's kind of funny? I wonder if Elvis is thinking, how am I gonna follow up Superman?
But look, he saved the Fitzgerald.
I love that. That's cool.
Because you know that went down, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Clark, we've missed you so much. Sorry I haven't called more. So, how are things going with that girl? The one you like? She's 28 years old, Ma, and not great. Well, look who the cape dragged in. What brings you to these parts, stranger? Mr. Corn? He's got girl problems, Jonathan. So you decided to see the expert, huh? Yep. Mom! But, of course, yeah, maintain the secret identity. She seems to understand me even better. When he's saying that, as Superman, she seems to understand him better. But yeah, that was like, I mean, we do come up with all these grandiose justifications that is to protect those that we love, as if there's loads of people out there just itching to tick off Superman. But to be honest, a little So how was Superman? He was all right, but to be honest, a little disappointing. It's just so hard to trust somebody so aware of their own power. But there is one reason to maintain a secret identity they rarely talk about. The one that to me makes it a fiction worth maintaining. It's the only way you can find people still willing to tell you the truth. It's like he's trying to the whole time to convince you that it's okay that he has all this power, or to convince himself. I don't know, Clark. I'm 2,000 miles away from the situation, but to me, it sounds like her being a journalist. Her ability to see through the red and blue to the man underneath isn't the obstacle. In fact, it sounds like that's what you love about her. I don't know this girl from canned peas, Clark, but I know that the only way to ever find out if someone loves you is to show them who you are. I suppose you're right, Mom. Glad we could help and be of some help. I have to admit, I'm surprised that you agreed to another interview. I'm tougher than you think. Did I ever tell you about the asteroid? You mentioned it once or twice, I think. In fact, why don't we start there? Giving her enormous power, why do you still spend time, signing autographs and getting cats out of trees? That's a good question. Hot dog Superman? Gee, Tony, I love one, but I don't carry a lot of cash on me. Not in the house, Superman. Wow, thanks. Hey, it's Superman. Well, for one thing, there's the free hot dog. And to be honest, I just like it. Thanks, Superman. But I've come to realize that doing small things, meeting people where they live, it serves a larger purpose. Excuse me for a moment. And where you headed, darling? Sixth floor. Sixth floor it is. Oh, sweet Lord of Ham. And hot tea coming through. The larger purpose being that it makes people feel like no matter who they are, no matter how great or small their problems are, somebody cares. Excellent team, ma'am. And they feel and even they feel that way even when no one's looking. My dad fought in the war, Mine too. So basically, we find out how during one of the times when Jonathan was in a war, one of the boats was too full. And then he's like, "Wake up, Kent!" This guy just stays on board so he can tell him there's another boat coming. Mm-hmm. And because of that, he stays there. But the guy died. The guy who gave him this head up, this holding on to hope, died to give him that hope. Mm-hmm. That is, again, the writing is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. But with that on, and that's when my dad knew that Toby had been on. Oh, wait. But turns out the boat wasn't coming, of course. We just happened to look by. And that's when my dad knew that Toby had been lying. But without Toby telling him that a boat was on the way, my dad never would have made it. And maybe that's why it's so important to give people hope. And that's why Toby died, because he didn't have the hope. Mm-hmm. Yep, it took 3 days. Mm-hmm. Because hope is a lie and we can make come true. Of course, this is a Superman on a different Earth. Mm-hmm. Why do I stay? On the planet that's been destroyed, as punishment for my failure to save him. So this is a Superman who failed. Okay. Earth was destroyed.
Hence the black outline on the S.
Yep. And all the designers know the difference. Mm-hmm. Besides this 832-654Z. Mm-hmm. All right. You've got a lot of nerve coming back here. There is no time for your feckless sentimentality. I stripped this world of its natural resources, its ocean, its biosphere, because this universe is about to come to an end. I took nothing and that wasn't about to be destroyed. But I've returned to tell you, I've discovered a method of traveling between universes. I'm amassing material, weapons, and fighters to make a stand, to stop the Anti-Monitor, who will destroy this and every other universe he comes to. What do you want, anyway? I return to ask you to join me. Why would I ever? What would make you even think I consider joining forces with you after what you've done here? Your emotional outburst is unbecoming. Perhaps I was wrong about you. No matter. There are other universes, other Earths, other Kryptonians. You took everything from me! Not true. I left you your fortress. He's right. And perhaps he left the fortress intact, knowing that I have enough compressed hydrogen freeze, dry soil, and seeds to rebuild the planet. But what's the point when there's no one to rebuild it for? So do what you have to do here, and do what you have to do that. And do you have to do that here? Kind of. My bomb closet is full, so I need to defuse a few more to make room. You have a bomb closet? I think the red wire goes first. I'm here for 1 hour. Clock's ticking. Can I get everyone's attention just for a moment? This is something important. There's an artificial life form known to strip worlds of their resources, and it's coming here. So basically, they're planning about what to do about Brainiac here.
Okay.
And right, we've only been tested against threats coming from within our own world. We've gotten cocky, but as my very existence proved, there are things out there that are things more power than we can yet grasp. It's not enough to simply hope that he doesn't come here. We need to be prepared and preparing now, all of us. So yeah, he's flying out to look at everything. Sorry I'm late. That's okay. I'm beginning to like the heliport. I just want to say, I understand why you may not trust me. I started doing interviews with the press because I don't want to be a mystery to the human race. I want them to see me for who I am. But it's just hard for me. So that is your one weakness? Shyness? Well, that and kryptonite. Kryptonite? Funny enough, they bring up kryptonite, but it never gets utilized.
Okay.
But it does summarize everything about, all the stuff. Like, don't worry, I'll consider that part off the record. No, print it. Are you sure? In order to get their hand on kryptonite, the government of the world would have to cooperate in putting together a deep space mission or scavenge every inch of this planet looking for whatever tiny scraps of it they can find. So I figured that if they are and they're willing to go through that much trouble, then I must have done something to deserve it. Well, I've got to say, that's the first interview I've ever conducted that included murder instructions. Mm-hmm. From now on, you no longer have to trust me. We have to trust each other. But she ran the article, and unfortunately, damn automat, open up, you rotating thief. You're in a right mood. Just lost an editor this morning. Do you have any idea how it is to find an editor worth their cheese? How'd the interview with Superman go? Weird. Smitty, why aren't you in Washington? The White House rejected my credentials. They jerked all of our credentials, everyone from the planet, because of her. What's going on here? Because of Lane's Watergate article, the rest of us got blackballed. Get out of my face if you want to keep working here, Smitty. This is what happens when you let a dame in the trenches. She gets the rest of the platoon killed. It's on her, Chief. Come on now, guys. Fight out, Kansas. No, I don't believe I will. If I'd done my job half as well as Lois, I'd have been the one writing those articles. If you had half the courage that she has, you'd be writing them. Did you ever see a war? You ever know who's really gets their platoon killed? It's cowards. People freeze up when the bullets start flying. People close their eyes and pretend they're somewhere else while their buddy's bleeding out of no man's land. Is that you? Are you a coward? Jeez, it was peas, Kent, because I thought you were a journalist. Easy, Clark. We were just joking. Yeah, good work, Lane. Are you okay, Clark? Well, on the bright side, I think I just found my new editor. Mm-hmm. I think. People rarely surprise me, Clark. So well done. What got into you? Something my mom told me. Your mom told you to whip the entire planet political desk into blubbering submission? I've got to meet this woman. No, they just made me mad is all. It's nothing new. Being a woman in a newsroom, you get used to it. Yeah, but you shouldn't have to. But it just gets so damn hard, pretending all the time that doesn't get to you, that you're bigger than everything they've designed, trying to make you feel small, like you've spent a whole lifetime being two people, and neither one is really you. Exactly. Do you ever feel like it's just too hard to go on pretending that sometimes you have to let your guard down, show at least one other person who you are, knowing that they'll never look at you the same again? Every day of my life. Now this works because of the history of women in the workforce and everything. Mm-hmm. Would you agree with that? That this could be a Lois who does have, without having to be a superhero, the double identity.
I know.
But that, again, makes this unique.
If only Joshua Williamson had done this instead. I'm saying instead of the turning her into Superwoman, because you could do this organically, but no.
Dude, we already have the history of Lois already.
I know.
That would be backtracking.
I know.
Oh, but yep, Batman takes them all down and stops them before, another fire happens. Anonymous hippie accuses Wayne Enterprise of arson. So Bruce goes in there wearing a gold outfit to put on an act, and then has Alfred wear that costume so he looks like he's brought in, Bruce Wayne to get the truth out of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then he actually blows up Wayne Enterprises building. No one's there, and the Wayne Manor.
Obviously, no one's there.
Right, but doing it all to pay for payback.
Mm-hmm.
So wow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nixon resigns. Now we also find out, Clark, what is it? Lois, I'm Superman. You knew? But how? Clark, I'm the reporter who broke Watergate.
And there you go.
Yep. Yeah, we got the I admire a man who I admire a man who marries upward. Shows good judgment. A backhanded compliment is still a compliment, right? Yep, and John's already bored and everything as he takes them to meet Jor-El.
Mm-hmm.
It's someone I'd like you to both meet. Lois, this is Jor-El, my biological father, or at least an imperfect algorithmic copy of him. I suppose we're all imperfect copies of someone. I like this human. Please make yourself at home, because you are. And shows off Kandor is still there. Father, what's wrong? A disturbance in the Earth's magnetic field. An energy drain I have not felt since. It's here. Brainiac has shown up.
Mm-hmm.
So, everybody said, I'm not the villain of this tale. I'm merely salvaging what I can from this universe before it's destroyed by one far more powerful than I. And yep, revealed about the anti-monitor. And so by this point, Lila is under his control.
Okay. So this is taking place during Crisis.
Yes.
Okay.
While the other worlds are still being consumed. Before, there's just the 5 left.
Okay.
Again, I like that.
Yeah, I will say it's a nice way to like bring it all to like factor in DC's history.
Yep. But yeah, showing that all the things that have happened on his world and everything, and how he survived. So why this parlay? Why bother telling the ants that you're about to step on them? This world, this universe will be destroyed, and there's naught you can do about it. But its wealth, its resources can be used to save others. Isn't that what you are here to do? We're here to protect the Earth, not to horse trade it. The Earth's water, its minerals, all valuable resources, yes. But there's one resource this world has that makes it uniquely worth harvesting, which is you. And the other 4 billion people on Earth, they are already dead. Did you really imagine that we would abandon everyone on Earth, everyone we love to save ourselves? No, I suppose not. For the record, the offer wasn't for all of you to join. Just you, Kal-El, son of Krypton. And the offer remains, Kryptonian. I suppose this means we've got a fight ahead of us, even after you've lost. Oh, and then big fight against Brainiac.
Oh, the invisible jet.
Yep. Just bam and everything. Up, bomb closet.
Oh, there you go.
He's actually using on it.
Yeah, now Flash is like, finally.
Yep. I mean, well, you were, but turns out he did it while they were all talking. Okay. I like that.
Me too.
Boom! He has so many bombs gathered. But then, Brainiac kills Hal. Now, this is a case where he was caught off guard. Not because of yellow or anything, which again makes sense. You don't see the aura there, and it doesn't make him invincible. All the yellow does is cuts through it. But if he doesn't have it up, what good does it do?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, Brainiac's getting out of there and everything. Oh, Batman showed up and everything. But he gets away. Was this a win? More like a stalemate, I think. Hal's gone though. So now they're trying to figure out what to do next. With the abrupt resignation of Maxwell Lord, Wayne Enterprise welcomed back its old CEO, Bruce Wayne. Wayne's building a new Hall of Justice. You know, I know. See you Monday. But now Superman's trying to figure out what to do to prepare for the next crisis. And now we got the last one. How do we? And as we go into the 80s. And again, I like how this fits all. This does feel like it fits in with the. Because remember, that's what original 5G was supposed to be. Remember?
Yeah.
All of the history exists. It all happened. You have no idea what precarious thing existed. So again, it's the failed Superman again. Billions of lives before being snuffed out forever. So get over yourself, because frankly, you're not that special. I was beginning to think I'd imagine you as a manifestation of your guilt or impotence as a bad dream. You've done a surprisingly good job of saving this world, by the way. I mean, the end's still coming. For whatever time these people have left, they owe to you. Maybe I'll surprise them, you then. I wish that were true, buddy. But no, this universe will be crushed to quantum dust, just like all the rest. I mean, do you really think you defeated Brainiac? If you're still around, it's only because he wants you around for some reason. He's more intelligent and calculating than you can even fathom. You're like a monkey watching a magic trick. You're not even smart enough to know that it's a trick. Everyone likes to imagine that they're so different that they somehow hold the lottery ticket no one else does. That all the deaths and disasters you see and hear around you, that those are for the other people. That when the end comes, you'll beat it somehow. Well, like most human beliefs, you don't believe it's because it's true. You believe because it's flattering. Well, I got a blow. When the empty monitor shows up on your doorstep, don't say I didn't warn you.
You know what's hilarious? If you look at the bar, that sign, instead of saying Bud Light, it says Zod Light.
Ha! Well, I'm going to get say Bud.
Well, yeah, but still, I'm like, okay, that's an interesting choice.
Oh, we got John Stewart, Green Lantern now.
Yeah, a bunch of leaguers.
Yep. Yeah, basically by this point, this would have been when things would really start to pick up by now. But of course, he brings up a pariah and everything. And like, do you trust what he says? He has no reason to lie. He has no reason to tell the truth. What the pariah told you is true. Our quantum observatories are purporting the structure of universes adjacent to ours. So wait a minute. 82. So, that's when the buildup started.
Okay.
It was around 82 that the buildup, like the monitors slowly started appearing. But look, he's now doing a boat in a bottle.
Okay.
Trying to something to keep his mind, focused. But yeah, explain about all this stuff. Because remember, obviously, it would take the antimatter a long time of consuming worlds. It was never an instantaneous thing. But yeah, what do you want? We wanted to have give you the good news. We have chosen to allow your planet to remain unharvested. It is a little light on uranium anyway. Don't misunderstand. Your world will still be destroyed, but not by us. So basically, they're saying you agree to come with us. There'll be a portal open just small enough and only long enough for only one person. Only one being can go through. He can't take anyone else with him.
Okay.
And of course, this is the universe where they're going to make their last stand, which is that one world. It even says like the human race is extinct. How? Who knows? Probably nuclear conflict. And everything. I'm pleased to report that the planets seem to rebound nicely, other than the human race, of course, which mercifully remains extinct. And to be frank, we think you would thrive without the distraction. Now, Lex here is going to make work to get out of prison. He meets up with Pa again to have a nice talk. But during one time where, and again, I love this Jor-El being more interactive.
That's something new.
But that night, Pa died of a heart attack. Of course he did, but the fact it's happened well into Superman's existence. It's much more like post-crisis.
Yeah.
But now he's trying to figure out what to do to copy all human DNA to make copies of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And condense it all down into a container.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like what was Flash building earlier?
A ship in a
In
bottle.
a bottle. In this case, it's like an ark in a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so Superman is resigning. Why? Well, so he can focus on that, and he knows they have plenty of heroes here to deal with it.
Yeah.
Hey, look, Booster.
Hey.
Wait, Booster shouldn't be around by this point. No, that's on the main Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Here it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, basically he's like, if I'm going to help the human race in whatever time we have left, I need to find another way. I'm pretty sure this isn't what Bruce Wayne had in mind when he built this place. Why don't you ask him? Look, I know you see the best in people. I don't know how, but you do. But if and when you ever get distracted, think about everything and everyone you can't save. Don't focus on saving the world. Just concentrate on saving one person. Remember, it's not humanity that matters. It's people. Would it be weird to say that I'll miss you? Huh? Where'd he go? Oh, hey, Superman. But yeah, it shows up at the bottle and everything. And of course, like, we'll get by. No offense, but the Justice League was always bigger than one man. I know, you've got more than enough heroes to fight fire with fire. I don't know who came up with that saying, but I'm guessing it wasn't a firefighter. One thing I'll always admire about you, Kal-El, is that you don't fight fire with fire. You fight darkness with light.
Mm-hmm.
But yep, we see, Riddler's comes in for a fight. Again, showing that how well he's handling everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you have no idea who you're messing with.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, even Penguin and everything. But yeah, so far he's doing great. But look who's showing up for the first time. Like, I'm here looking for the daycare. And you are? I'm the entertainment. 5th floor. Thank you. Lane, get in here. Yeah, to get word about Luthor's. Luthor is appealing. That's highly debatable, Chief. He's appealing his conviction, wiseacre. That's funny.
I like that.
But yep, so Luthor is there, on trying to appeal everything. And unfortunately, he wins. Why? The federal government loaned my client 2 nuclear devices to be used in a defense contract demonstration. The fact that one detonated accidentally while en route, well, that could only be blamed only on government incompetence.
Mm-hmm.
How's that for him getting out of it?
Yeah.
There's no way you can argue that defense.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really, can you?
No.
Not when so many people are dead.
Yeah.
Oh, but I love this. Dad, so what do you got for me? Kryptonite, Mr. Luthor. What's a kryptonite, Otis? It's Superman's secret weakness. Only it's not secret. He told the whole world. And we managed to get some. Why? Well, to destroy Superman. To get revenge. And when should I do that, Otis? During recess? On the playground and during 5th period? I'm sorry, Mr. Luthor, and how much is this super guy worth anyway? Lex Score has the best opposition research in the world, and yet we can find no capital asset in Superman's portfolio. Our best guess, a negative net worth. A charity case, Mr. Luthor. Christ, the guy's already destroyed himself. All right, then. So in other words, he doesn't care about Superman.
All right.
He cares more about Wayne because Wayne's the biggest market in town.
Okay, that makes sense.
And yes, Lex realizes that Batman is Wayne because of the suits.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Superman's finished everything. He's now offering to analyze the quantum data energy and everything. The gadget, he's calling it Project Humanity. A treatment will come in the form of a one-time chewable tablet, which cures every disease on Earth. So he's using it as a duplicate, as a means to gather everyone's DNA, but also help everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and he's doing that. Of course, Lex is ready to make things big again, and all that. And this is where Mark Russell loves to treat Lex here like Steve Jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And it's quite obvious, isn't it?
Yeah.
But doing this in the 80s is funny, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I miss Grandpa. I do too, but it is possible to shuck corn without feeling like he's somewhere nearby, judging me. But you're not going to die, right? I mean, you're immortal. There's no such thing, son. Everything that had a beginning will, by definition, come to an end. The day comes for us, all of us, when you leave behind the things you love, which is both death's tragedy and its promise. Oh, yeah, Joker's abducted all those kids. But it turns out, yeah, it turns out he had a daughter who died in one of the fires.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just an entertainer, a part-time clown. But because Wayne Industry was responsible for those, he blames Wayne.
I see.
And he somehow he knows Wayne is Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, basically he's going in to go deal with it all. And unfortunately, just to make a point, he destroys Lucius.
Mm-hmm.
Dang!
Mm-hmm.
Driving him and everything. Tell him come here with 10 grand for information for the whereabouts of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
But it turns out it's all to burn all that money. Okay, that is modern 100s.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because that's too big.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops.
Mm-hmm.
Little continuity, a little flub up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he burned all the money. He just wants to take Wayne down for revenge. But what does he do? He also knows that he'll be able to get out of there because he'll look like Wayne wearing that mask.
Mm-hmm.
So what does Bruce do? He puts on a clown mask, tackles him, and they both get shot.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's not in a place to do anything else.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, Batman would so do this.
Mm-hmm.
He would sacrifice himself if it meant this, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, of course, come the gloat. Is that what you think I've been doing in this uneven bar stool for the past 20 years? Gloating? I'm not gloating. Milk, please. I came to tell you that this is the day it all ends. With shock, but perhaps shock was the wrong word for it. I had long known this day was coming. I'd hope it never would. Hope being the castle we usually die in. I don't suppose you're here to help? Nope, this is the end, kid. And what is there to say at the end? But I'm sorry. So Lex he's been able to buy out Wayne Industries now.
Mm-hmm.
But just as he does it, the end of the world is coming.
Ah, there you go.
That is perfect irony, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's the happiest day of the life. He's won, and it's the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So now everyone is going to go in and fight the antimatter while Superman is preparing everything, the data crystals, all of this. And oh, look at that! This feels like a crisis, doesn't it?
Yep, that's crisis right there.
It does feel like a crisis. Oh, and they're all doing what they can, but they're dying.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at that!
Yeah, I love that. All that destruction.
Yep, but they can't seem to do it unless Jor-El sacrifices his program to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And he does. And he flies up there and as the world is burning, he flies up with that crystal and tucks in the journal, and he shoves that into the portal.
Mm-hmm.
While he stays, and now the Brainiac's child's like, disappointing. I'll let it go through. Who knows? Who cares what that is?
Mm-hmm.
And this Superman finds it and reads through that, and he uses his tech to restore Lois and everyone on Earth. While our Superman that we've been following, Space Age Superman, goes to be with Lois and Jonathan.
Mm-hmm.
Goodbye. I did the best I could. But yeah, Lois asked me once what it means to be a hero. And I'm not sure I've ever really came up with a good answer for that. But the best one I could come up with is that a hero is someone who never thinks about how much they mean to the world, but to realize just how much the world means to them. And then, meanwhile, he recreates everyone. I don't get it. You're still here, Superman. Yes, I suppose I am. Sometimes you save the world, sometimes the world saves you. As Dad once told me, There's a part of ourselves that's out there, loose in the world, waiting to be discovered. And he was right. What sort of maniac builds a statue of himself? That's not me. And that part is what we call love.
That was good.
Well, yeah, overall, just that was an incredible story, wasn't it?
Yeah, I dig it. I dig it a lot.
I wish I could have read through everything, but we would have been here for like 3 hours.
Yeah, exactly. There's like
But
a lot.
what did
there.
you like best about this whole story?
The way they factor in, like, yeah, some stuff from continuity, but they also like sort of tweak it a little bit to fit in more of a modern context.
Yep, and the ending is what gets me.
Yeah,
He
I
died.
love that. Yeah, he legit just died.
But unlike normal cases of the deaths of Krypton, he saved everyone else.
Yeah.
Except for Lex.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Lex was too arrogant. He didn't have a copy of himself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, and what did you think about the artwork?
Artwork is pretty good. Again, like I said before, it's very reminiscent of Jack Kirby.
It really was. And again, Russell, I mean, you could see with some of the politics here and there, obviously, but it fit the characters.
Yeah, and he kind of kept it a little. He kept it from becoming too preachy.
He did. And all the times where it was preachy, it made sense to be preachy because of the era.
Mm-hmm.
Like during the segregation stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, big one. What do you think about Lois in this?
But better than she traditionally is depicted.
All right, I can take that. But yeah, just overall, really good story. And I am grateful this wasn't the canon story it was meant to be. I think it is so benefited from not being canon.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
What do you think about Pariah throughout all this?
That was a very interesting little cameo in there because, like, yeah, the minute I see Pariah, I'm like, oh, Crisis. Interesting.
And then seeing this build up and everything. Again, Russell had to tweak how Pariah's curse worked.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whenever we get to Batman Dark Ages, Pariah's doing something extremely different in that one.
Yeah, exactly.
And here, it's a case where he's just there and just gives Superman a warning. But again, I love how hope is the center of all this. Again, Russell gets it. And I think that's the one thing people don't understand, what hope means. I think that's always been the biggest issue. And people always think like Superman's all about hope. What does hope mean?
Yeah, exactly.
You ever notice that? People don't know as you go into that far. They just focus on he's about hope. Define hope.
Yeah, exactly. What is hope?
And hope is courage, it's will, it's all of that. And hope is basically, I always say this, hope is the light in the darkness. Like Diana said.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's what hope is. It's that single ember of light that keeps you moving forward. Otherwise, you would just linger in the darkness lost.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the best way to put it?
Mm-hmm.
And again, what do you think about the fact that this Superman was given another chance?
That's really cool. I really dug that because I figured he was going to play a significant role when we kept cutting back to him. I was like, okay, this is happening too much for him to be just a character.
Exactly. And again, the fact that his world had nothing, it was like convenient.
Yeah, exactly.
But it worked here. And again, they've even said about, he can rebuild everything, redo all the resources from the fortress.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this ending was very good overall. And I'll say it again, and I'll just say this. This won't be the last time we'll see this universe.
Okay, cool.
It does factor in the Dark Age.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever we get to that. But yeah, so where would this rank on Superman stories you've read? Now, obviously not your all-time favorite, obviously, but this would probably be one of the ones.
Pretty high. I enjoyed it a lot.
I think this is a good recommendation story. So long as you tell them this is not continuity, just say, if you want a good Superman story, here.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah, because they explain enough about the crisis is a distant thing like it would be in this world.
Yeah.
So you don't have to know about the crisis to know it. And again, I just like this whole notion that the crisis, because you forget, there was a whole bunch of other universes we never saw.
Mm-hmm.
So to just have this just be one of them, why has no one done that before?
Exactly.
But yeah, so that's all I've got to say. Do you have any other final thoughts to give?
No, pretty good story.
All right, then. Thank you so much for joining me in this one, Jared, and thanks to everyone else. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.